left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
What is going on, Bakers? Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Monday, October 24th. The World Series is set. Might be more full preview-y on that on the upcoming episode Wednesday. But we got to dive into this weekend's games, and then we'll hit the football in a little bit. But there's going to be some good baseball, and it's probably going to be, unfortunately, Yankees, Padres-centric, because those are the two teams that just got eliminated. Before I get into that, why don't you get into a Ridge wallet? Ridge wallet. Got one right here. Bing bong. Could drop it. It's strong. We got a bunch of cards in here, cash, and we've got a little peel-on tattoo in here. So if you keep that in your wallet,
in case of an emergency,
Ridge wallet can handle that. You're probably familiar with them. If you're not, holds up to 12 cards. Carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Sounds like strong stuff, right? Feels like strong stuff. They've got over 50K 5-star reviews. They've got a lifetime warranty, and they'll let you test drive it for 45 days. So if you want to give this a shot, if you're looking for a new wallet option, these may be the guys for you. Check out the link in the description. Use code JOHNBOY for 10% off lifetime warranty. So if you like it, like you just figured out your wallet for life, problem solved.
Run it back.
Never again.
I'm a front pocket guy, and these fit in there. If
That's
you're a front pocket guy,
wallet.
this is obvious, and if you're a back pocket guy, it's also obvious.
Thank you, Ridge. Code JOHNBOY. Ridge.com/JOHNBOY. So let's talk about lifetime stuff, because that's kind of being a Yankees fan. I'll be a Yankees fan forever. The organization would have to sneaky be killing people or something. I don't really know. I haven't looked into that. And we don't even have to harp on that. We'll harp on the Yankees losing to the Astros again. And they got swept. And a lot of the stuff throughout the year, talking Yanks, talking baseball, that we thought could be problems, ended up being problems. I think the lineup ended up thinner than a lot of Yankee fans would have anticipated. DJ LeMahieu and Andrew Benintendi being out and hurt are two significant injuries. Each team has their injuries. The Astros lost Brantley, right? Remember how I made a big deal out of that? That's one guy to two guys, and I don't know. The Astros are just better all around. At some of the little things the Yankees do, I don't think they understand the damages that it actually implements to the teams, arguing between the shortstop and not having your leadoff hitter, which, a popular conversation in Yankees land was who would be a better leadoff guy, DJ or Benny. Those two injuries being a player of a similar ilk stung, you got swept. The games had moments of closeness. At the same time, they didn't. The Yankees were up yesterday. I know it's a 3-0 game and hope is already shattered, but there was really no hope. The Astros dominated. It just seems like it's a bunch of guys who have been there and done that before. Times Pena, who ends up winning the ALCS MVP. They're going on to the World Series to face the Phillies. And for the Yankees, every Yankee fan, you start doing the questions. And I was wondering if I was going to do a tweet last night or a video last night, and I just did a let's sleep on it and get there. But my thoughts are the same. Aaron Judge is a free agent. Honestly, maybe it's dumb, and maybe I'm going to have an eye-opening moment where I'm like, whoa, you are no longer the New York Yankees if you don't re-sign Aaron Judge. He's a star. Even from where the contract negotiations were, the number's going to go up, but it's not going to be crazy far from where you got. And if you've seen any of the tweets going around in the past couple days, I saw the Donaldson plus IKF is really similar to Harper's AAV or something like that. I've seen, Chapman and Donaldson and Hicks. I think that gets you to Harper and Machado or something like that. So the Yankees have spent money over these past years. We've defended them on spending money. They've been around one of the top teams, but they are not getting the postseason results. I saw a graph today that was, money paid and World Series attended. I think the top 5 teams that are paying money but haven't been to World Series since 2010, which is now 12 years, were the Yankees and the Angels. And I think when the Yankees look at themselves, they see themselves as Astros and Dodgers. They don't see themselves as Angels, and they might be closer to that than what they think. Super interested to see the next moves. Obviously, they're the team I like. But I think everyone around baseball also is, because Brian Cashman, the GM, title's not GM anymore, but he's the GM, who's been running the Yankees for 25 years, something like that, closer to 30 than 20 at this point. His contract is up. So what does that mean? I don't know. The Yankees, when Joe Girardi was finished with the team, his contract was up. They technically didn't want to fire him. They wanted to go their separate ways. Hal Steinbrenner more or less seems disconnected from the team. I saw him twice this year. It was when they retired Jeter and when they retired O'Neill. Those are the 2 days I think I saw Hal at the games. I don't know. I don't know where he's at with the media and the coverage of it. I think the Yankees as a business are doing well, and I do think that's what Hal cares about. And he trusts Brian Cashman, and he's almost like he's the friends and family at this point. If Brian Cashman wants to come back, he will. For me, I think Brian Cashman does want to be involved. I guess what I would question is he gets older. I know he has a son that's on the AAU circuit and stuff like that. If you're Brian Cashman, wouldn't you want to try out more of a Godfather role and, maybe work a little less hours and be involved in decision making, but kind of pass the torch a little bit? You made a lot of money, and I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe Brian Cashman is at home. They're signing a new contract right now, and he's got the itch to need to win again, and he's going to try to keep scratching that and be at the helm. I don't know. We know that inside the Yankees, they have a decision-making group that's Cashman and their scouts and Boone, and they all kind of come to group decision-making. And I think that's become an Achilles heel for the team, because instead of having kind of a short, concise game plan, they've got a mix of everything. IKF is the analytic defensive god shortstop that they've thought they've wanted for years. Yet the way they measure almost every other player, they measure their results differently between OPS and how they look defensively and how it feels. IKF did not end up being this team's Achilles heel, and I think myself, Jimmy, BBD, Joe's, I think in a way not relieved by that. I think not playing the kid, as you see Jeremy Pena go on to win ALCS MVP, and playing him, that's part of it, but also, the Donaldson side of that trade is so bad. He's on the books for next year with an $8 million buyout the year after that. When you talk about the other options and not being interested in Manny Machado or Bryce Harper, those are glaring things right now, especially with what those two guys just did. So as you look at the Yankees, I think Aaron Judge comes back. If you're Hal, I think because, Brian Cashman, the Yankees front office, whoever's there, they want Aaron Judge on their team. It becomes an ownership question and who's going to pay. I think Hal is conscious enough to know that if you don't sign Aaron Judge, you're not the Yankees anymore. And even if they pay him $325 million, you can still make money off of that. Judge is the guy. He's the one that sells jerseys. He puts butts in seats. You're going to be good and covered on that. And look what's now happened with Harper. That contract sucked, right? Oh, wait. Everyone kind of loves that contract now. I think he makes $27 million a year.
If that.
And I think by the end of it, let's be honest, 13-year contracts, it might not end well. Judges could be in the same boat. DJ LeMahieu's is already getting towards that boat. But
the value isn't great on a per year basis, but it's also not destroying anything.
You're paying for now. And with the way contracts keep going up, by the end of it, I don't think you get spurned as much as you used to with the Pujols and some of the other things.
By like year 2 of Stanton, especially with the money the Marlins kick in, like his contract is already like, oh, well, on a per year rate, he doesn't get paid, that bad. It's not like affecting anything.
Yeah.
It's like on the books for 22 a year the whole way. It's not where we're at already. That's not too bad. By the end of that, it's probably going to look just good.
You never really know. I mean, injury bug strikes. But
if he's straight up not playing or bad,
right.
Yeah. But.
I mean, Stanton's an interesting case of things and stuff because when he's out there, it still feels really good. And it limits what the Yankees can do a little bit. And that's either way, the whole point of the money, and whether it's Hicks, Donaldson, you're paying other guys that I think the Yankees need to, where they're going to spend big money. Or if you're spending money, spend it big. That's your advantage. You're the Yankees. Some of these tweener contracts that they tried to eke out, whether Hicks or Severino, they kind of didn't. Now, they deserve some more credit on Rizzo. Rizzo was great this year, and I do think he's going to come back. They need lefties. They need a first baseman still, although DJ, as he gets older, I think he got 1 or 2 more years of DJ being able to play some second and third, which the Yankees could still use, especially if they move on from Glaber or something like that, which seems in the works. You've got the young shortstops.
He has some value.
Left field, you can get upgrades there, whether it's Benny coming back because you need a lefty bat. I was more surprised at myself at how in they would be on him. That's where they can make a real impact move. It's not like there's a lot of big lefty hitting third baseman you can bring in. Like that's kind of not how this works. You could find yourself a left fielder, whether in free agency, Benintendi or Nimmo is the one that's getting interesting. You move him off center field. It's a big left field. He gets on base. He set the tone for the Mets. What's that contract look like? I don't know. He's a guy that could probably have a bigger impact than Benny. Benny, you're probably doing less of a contract. And he could be what you need, defense and a lefty contact stick, whether at the top or bottom of the lineup. Left field, it feels like you can make an impact move there. You got to call up the kids, and I think you can make one more rotation move. They traded for Montas, who Cole, Nestor, Sevy, Montas. If you add a starter that can jump 1 or 2 of those guys, that's a really good rotation. That's probably the best 5 you've had in a while. I'm skeptical the Yankees will do that. I think they'd...
With the other spots that need upgrades.
Between Herman and Schmidt and, a lot of that, I think they end up there.
At the same time, you've been saying on Talking Yanks for a couple of years now, you could come into the year, come into spring training, you want like 7 dudes who you're comfortable in the rotation day one. Maybe Clark's in that group.
Clark Schmidt as a 6 or 7 starter is incredible. Clark Schmidt as a 5 is a little nervous, and that's just being honest. So the Yankees have a lot of questions. I think lineup-wise, let the kids play. I mean, if Rizzo walks or goes somewhere else somehow, you try to upgrade at first base, but Rizzo was nice this year. And you have DJ as maybe a backup first base option to get him a little more rest if the back becomes a thing. And you should have kids that are able to play the infield. That really left field is kind of your upgrade spot.
That's a spot that can change the team.
Honestly, I want to give my guy Fuzzy a shout out. He said the difference between who was it? The Yankees and the Phillies doesn't seem that significant to him. Like the Phillies brought in Dombrowski. This is Fuzzy's tweet. I find the Yankees and Phillies similar. Lean into homers, elite 1-2 starting pitcher duo, made moves at the deadline. The Phillies front office wasn't afraid to be wrong. They cut Didi and Odubel Herrera and let young guys flourish. Brian Cashman feels like the opposite. There's that graphic going around. The Yankees entire front office is people that have been there for a long time. Who knows the first job they got into and things like that and climbing the ladder, et cetera, et cetera. And then there's Houston's front office, which is a lot of new people. I mean, the list is, 5 out of the 6 are since 2019. The Yankees definitely need some fresh blood, and they need better just decision-making. Like, if you're going to believe in something, you got to do it instead of kind of being wishy-washy with the lineup or who gets a vote on what given day, and that depends your starting shortstop in a playoff game, holy smokes, you gotten too far away. You gotten too far off the map. And yeah, I do think they need to be able to cut and run earlier from situations like Hicks and Donaldson. And I mean, IKF's a whole nother story, but Domingo Germán still being on this team. It felt like they moved mountains to have Domingo Germán be a part of this season, only to not use him in the playoffs until like the ship was sunk. So I don't need that guy around. They've got money coming off the books. Chapman, Britton, if you can somehow dump Donaldson and Hicks somewhere. Jameson Taillon is a free agent. The Yankees will be back. They will retool. I hope there's a sneaky move that's out of sight, out of mind for me right now. And again, that would probably be left field or first base or the shortstop smoke screen. Do they end up trading one of the shortstop prospects to get an impact piece somewhere? And then could you also sign a shortstop? Because shortstops are free agents again. Dansby, Trey Turner, there's guys out there. So I don't know. The Yankee season is done. They get swept by the Astros, the team that they knew was going to be there at the end. It's as bad as it gets. For the San Diego Padres, they end up putting up a hell of a run. I think if they got this series back to San Diego, they had a really good chance to win it. They did not. The Phillies handled their business. Their lineup is clicking. Dombrowski is a guy I've been tough on. And man, kudos to him. We were laughing on Talking Baseball a little bit. The year the DH is added is huge for them. Bryce Harper, literally hurt his arm and couldn't play the outfield, but he got to DH a lot this year. And then, they were the 6th seed in the new playoff format. So, in previous years, they would have been without a seat at the table, and they wouldn't have been able to use one of their best players all year, which for an 87-win team, what would that have done? If Bryce Harper was like out for the year, are they a 83-win team? I don't know. And most importantly, it doesn't matter. Their lineup is clicking and horrifying. It is their advantage over kind of every team with Schwarber, Hoskins, Real Muto, Harper, Castellanos, Bohm, Stott, Segura. I'll leave Brandon Marsh out of it. Sorry, Brandon Marsh, although he had a big 3-run homer. Their lineup can out-line up you. Even the mighty Houston Astros. Don't get me wrong. They can line up with you, and their pitching is better, and I think their depth is better. It's setting up for a good pitching versus hitting World Series. The dominant Astros versus the upstart Phillies. There's going to be a lot of Phillies fans. San Diego, really interested to see. I think they are still in their window. They're going to get Tatis back next year. I mean, how could they have used him this series, man? I mean, their leadoff spot was like a rotating door between Kim and Profar. I think Profar's a free agent. He might get the bag somewhere. Their season traveled a long, windy road between, Hosmer at first base and stuff like that. They are going to make some moves in free agency and be back at it. They've got a lot of their pitching staff and lineup coming back, and if that Tatis can come back and, kind of be humbled and go, there'll be a problem. So, obviously not what Padres fans want to hear. Definitely not what Yankee fans want to hear. Both those teams are going to retool and be in good spots. The Yankees, it's to what degree? And Padres, I was actually more excited than I thought when I opened it up. But that's because they have Machado, Soto, and Tatis next year. Never mind Cronenworth and whatever they add. And, their pitching staff, they've got some money coming off the books that they're going to be able to make some strategic moves and be a really good team again and have postseason experience now and be able to be scary. So that's kind of the baseball around the horn for now. I think Wednesday we'll end up deep diving World Series. Maybe we'll bring a friend on for that. Got a little more free time now to reach out to friends now that the Yankees are eliminated.